Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Virtual Racers Club. We're here streaming live on a Sunday evening for the VDUB Enduro Cup, round 2, where the fuel setting is on ×5 and the fuel setting is ×5, so these guys have to race for 60 minutes looking after that fuel, which makes for a interesting race. Not maybe close quarter racing, not as close as I would have liked it, but we will have to see if round 2 is any different from round 1. It was a rather spaced out affair, whilst everyone was trying their different ways to save fuel. They've been discussing it during the week, so hopefully they've picked up some pointers on how to fuel save during this race. We are at Sardinia. I can't remember which one. I'll find it. Sardinia Road Track A. And it's a 3.18 mile track with 15 turns. We're using the Group 3 Beetle here. And they have the choice of racing soft and racing medium tyres. But the racing soft seem to have it totally handled, so it's just racing soft tyres. Over an hour's racing, 60 minutes at 8 o'clock. We will do a 15-minute qualifier where they will go all out to try and grab that pole position. And then straight after that, we will move on to a 60-minute endurance race. The table so far stands at Racer Brown at the top with 20 points. But unfortunately, he's unable to make it for this round. And then we have that man there, Digital Blasphemy, in second on 16 points. JOO Pace third on 14 points. Skyjacker fourth on 12 points. And Matt Psycho fifth on 11 points. Cthulhu is sixth on 10 points. Uncle B Darren seventh on 9 points. Koikarp is eighth on 8 points. And Jokus ninth on 7 points. Daz is 10th on 6 points, and Rido is 11th on 5 points. And we will see how they get on this evening. We're only 5 minutes away from qualifying. So let's have a look around the field at what we've got on offer. I'm just checking the Discord, seeing if there's any last minutes. But it doesn't look like there is anyone letting me know if they can make it or not. There is our man Uncle B Darren. He's the fastest man in practice so far, and he's got a lovely looking car. He's just went to have a look at that, inspect that barrier. There is Electric. He couldn't get in the room last week. The internet let him down. The servers were just no good. Skyjacker in the chat saying good evening, sir. Hello, Skyjacker, our host with the most. Guesty saying good evening, thingy. Hello, Guesty. Flashman also saying evening all. There's Skyjacker doing a little spin for us. And Binko saying, oh, well, good evening, your lordship. My word, never been called that before. But often tried to get the wife to call me that, but she just can't bring herself to do it. She laughs. And there we see Daz making his way around. And like I said, yes, the fuel settings is on ×5, the tyre settings on ×5. And it looked like a struggle last week. We had JOO, who looks like he's not here this week. JOO, he just pelted it, did about 5 pit stops, and still managed to get a podium. So there's that one way of doing it. And I don't think Sardinia is a very long pit stop. It's a very short pit straight. So possibly these guys might just go for more pit stops this evening rather than fuel saving. We will never know. We don't know what people's efforts are. We're going to see how it goes this evening, and then the admin team, the VRC admin team, will have an emergency meeting. Although, I mean, the feedback hasn't been terrible about the first race. Just a couple of guys saying it was a little bit boring from their side of view, just doing the fuel saving so much. So there might be talks in just bringing down that fuel down a little bit. We'll see. And there is Catula in his Red Bull Beetle. It looks very nice, I must say. I should get on board with someone for a lap around Sardinia, give a good idea of what it's like. Got Matt Psycho just going over the start-finish straight there. In 7th gear, heading towards that first corner. Sharp left-hander, a 90-degree left-hander, straight into quite fast section of a right to left. Then I think it's another heavy left with a barrier there that can really affect you. Then a heavy right, so can't gain much speed there. Then on to a short straight heading up to the church. Left-hander here, down to 3rd gear. Car's always wanting to slide it out to the outside there. King to the right, building up speed all the way. Little kink to the left, under the Gran Turismo bridge. Heavy braking here for another a left-hand 90-degree turn. There's a brick wall there, that's a killer. If ever I saw one. Kink to the right. Now we're going up the hill. It's an interesting track. I've got to say, I quite like the track, Sardinia. Heavy again to the left. It loves its heavy left-handers. So I don't know if we'll see a bit of tyre wear on that right-hand side. Although the tyres seem to be quite well. They deal with the action quite well. And then we're back onto the start straight there to set a 1:39.2. Skyjacker is asking if we're ready. And Matt Psycho in a lovely Peroni liveried car there. I'll just get involved as I like to with an R, just to say yeah, I'm up for this. So it looks like only 10 to die. So we lost 5. I know a Rivixter said he could not make it, but Catula standing in for him. And Arrido unable to make it as well. Well, I've not heard from any of the other guys. And here we go then, 15-minute blast around here, Sardinia Road Course A. To see who is the fastest in these little Beetles. And then onto a 60-minute race, where it's not all about speed, it's about looking after that car. There we go. The host in the first garage gets the opportunity to go out on the course first before anyone else. As we watch him on his outlap there, Skyjacker, followed by Electric. They've got to space themselves out. Can't start impeding people in qualifying. Looks like Daz quite close to Matty Psycho, ahead of him. Electric seems to have backed off from Skyjacker a little there, but Catula rather close to Electric. Skyjacker, first man on track. Trying to get around the course. See if he can grab a pole. Best of the rest last week was Digital Blasphemy. Looked after his car rather nicely. Looks like he's trying to burn some fuel early doors. I don't know, there's something weird going on there. Is that his brakes are on as well as his accelerator? Doesn't look like he's driving with his brake on. Or his handbrake even. Interesting way of doing things. For Digital Blasphemy, he's going to be caught up by Turtle. Definitely got something strange happening. I think he really is trying to burn through that fuel early doors, get that car nice and light. So Uncle B Darren out as well now as Skyjacker crosses the line to start his first flying lap. Kaboom, he's away, and there we go. Qualifying is on, baby. Not to get that wide turn through the first corner. Lovely jubbly from Skyjacker. Clean lines as he drives the VDUB bug around here at Sardinia. The beautiful windmills in the background. Skyjacker doing a cracking job. He's got electric next on track. And yeah, they've been talking about early gear changes. Helps. Not letting it get right up to the top of that rev limiter. You lose the torque of the Beetle is such that you don't really want to be revving its balls out, because that will not get you any faster. Just burns fuel. And obviously when you get to the corners, not using the brakes rather than the gearbox to slow you down, as we all know the trick of just changing down gear on the apex just to give it that extra turn in. But again, that uses up fuel. Skyjacker moving on his way. Digital Blasphemy. He has burnt quite a lot of fuel out there with staying in first, screaming it out, the out lap, and now he's starting his flying lap and nearly used half his fuel just on his out lap. So you can see Digital Blasphemy's trying to lighten the load on his bug early doors. Skyjacker's set the first time with a 39.6. Electric's beaten him, and Cthulhu's gone faster again. So interesting stuff. We've got Cthulhu at the top with Matt Psycho second fastest, Electric third fastest, then Daz in fourth, Skyjacker fifth fastest with that first run, and then Koikarp sixth fastest in the lovely VRC livery. Sharen seventh fastest. Turtle is eighth. No, he hasn't even done his lap yet. He seems to have stopped on track for Turtle. Hopefully no one's behind him. I don't know what he's doing. He's not on an outlap or anything. It looks like he's having some real issues there in the middle of the track there. And he's got Uncle B catching him up rather quickly. And Digital Blasphemy, he's on a flying lap also. Looks like Turtle was trying to burn through a bit of fuel there, I imagine. He's done a 58, but we saw he stopped on track then. Cthulhu making his way round. Skyjacker will be the first to cross the line. Uncle B Darren has gone fastest in his bug. Well done, Uncle B Darren, with a 38.7, just nearly 2/10 ahead of Cthulhu. Digital Blasphemy has only gone seventh fastest. Skyjacker should be crossing the line. Oh, he has. No, he's coming up towards it now. Electric. Matt Psycho has just gone fastest of them all with a 38.6. The time should drop as the fuel drops as well. But the cars, it doesn't always necessarily make the cars faster when they get lighter. Koikarp's gone, set a faster time, and he's down in ninth at the moment, ahead of Turtle, half a second behind Sharen. It's a bit of a game of cat and mouse out there in qualifying at the moment. They're rather close together, or it looks close together on the map. That Psycho is coming up towards Cthulhu. And there's Electric leading the field. Cthulhu will be Matt Psycho will be hoping Cthulhu gets a shift on, or he's going to catch him up as they come around the virtual hairpin. The car's looking a lot more planted, and Turtle has set a time It's kept him in 10th place, but he's only a second and a bit behind Koi Carp. Uncle B has gone faster and gone back to the top. He's taken the pole away from Matt Psycho, and Cthulhu pulled out the way for Matt Psycho. Hopefully it didn't cost Matt Psycho any time on his run. As he makes his way around the final corner, running up towards the line. Ooh, 2/10 off of his best. Uncle B has found Turtle on track. Skyjacker setting a faster time into 4th. Talleyrand saying hello, hello, good evening thingy. Hi Talleyrand. Welcome to the party. We're having a VDUB bug party at the moment. And we've got Uncle B Darren fastest. Matt Psycho, 2nd fastest at the moment. Cthulhu, 3rd fastest. Skyjacker, 4th fastest. Electric is 5th fastest. Daz is 6th fastest. And Daz, oh my lord, only 9 thousandths off of Electric's time. So Daz will be looking to eke a little bit more time out of his car. Digital Blasphemy, 7th fastest at the moment. And he's not finding the rhythm so far here at Sardinia, although he's half a second up on his own time, which will put him up to 5th place, I believe. Electric is a 10th, maybe even 4th. So we'll watch Digital Blasphemy making his way around. He's going to make a big jump on this lap if he can keep it facing the right way. And Mama Sykes in the chat saying, evening, good luck guys, or hello thingy. Hello Mama. And here comes Digital Blasphemy to cross the line. Can he make a massive jump here? He goes faster but stays in 7th. He's lost a bit of time going around there. And he stays behind Daz by 200ths. So Digital Blasphemy. Electric going faster again. He's put himself up to 3rd fastest. Matt Psycho's managed to go faster, but not got ahead of Uncle B Darren. Skyjack has gone faster, stayed in 4th. Shiren's gone faster and moved himself up into 6th place. It's a very tight field. Very tight indeed out there. But Uncle B, he's on an outlap at the moment. Matt Psycho, 2nd fastest so far, only by hundredths. He's 2/10 ahead of Electric, who's in 3rd. Electric, 500ths ahead of Skyjacker, who is in 4th place. Cthulhu's only 600ths behind. I mean, these are really tight times. Very tight times down the field there. Shiren is just 4/10 off of Cthulhu's time, but he's only 800ths ahead of Daz in 7th. Daz is only 200ths ahead of Digital Blasphemy in 8th place. He'll be looking to get a faster lap in this time as he comes around that final corner. And no, he's gone into the pits to top up on fuel. Uncle B starting his... Oh no, he's not going much faster on this flying lap. Matt Psycho, we'll have a look. He's coming around that final corner. No, he's gone in as well. So is Electric. I imagine Skyjacker also is going to go into the pits. Is anyone doing a run? Shiren going towards the line. He does go faster in 6th place now. He's moved ahead of Daz. And he's 2.5 tenths behind Skyjacker. Cthulhu's gone pole. Cthulhu. Fantastic stuff from the Spaniard. Has gone to the top of the pile with a very healthy 138.398. As the rest of the field popped in to get some fuel. Matt Psycho. He'll be looking to get a good result here. It's not often Matt Psycho finishes below the top 3. So he'll be looking to get something out of this race, a win possibly. We've got to say Digital Blasphemy looked very strong last week, finishing in 2nd. Uncle B Darren seeming to get the good lap times around here at Sardinia. Nice Italian track. We were in Italy last week with Lago Maggiore, and now Sardinia, before we move on next week to, I'll tell you. Ooh. Sorry. looking down at my phone, trying to find where we are next week. At St. Croix. But here comes Matt Psycho to finish his outlap. I don't know why we've been watching an outlap, but still, Catula is in pole. Uncle B Darren is second. Matt Psycho third. Electric in fourth. He's just started a lap. Not too... Ooh, he's not going to go any faster this lap, though, as he meets the barrier. Skyjacker just starting a lap. We've got two... Ooh, his back end's hanging out a little bit, though. He scoops her up. Keeps her going the right direction. And Electric staying out of the way. There's a Skyjacker making his way around. He said he's not a big fan of the Group 3 cars, so... he's doing his best as he can. He's only 500ths off of Electric's time. He's 1.3 down on his time at the moment, though. Digital Blasphemy. He's got a greens, so it says he's doing better. Stick with him for a bit. We haven't got another sector time before the final flag. Oh, I think I just missed it. He's down, though. Down on his time. Turtle's into the pits to top up with fuel. Koi Carp in 10th. So Turtle has gone faster with a 39.5, put himself nearly a second ahead of Koi. I know for a fact Koi had his wheel to pieces today. I don't know if he got it back together in time or if he's gone for the pad to race tonight. He's not too far behind Shuren. Bunched up a little bit there with Shuren, Koikart and Electric. Matt Psycho goes faster, goes ahead of Uncle B by 0.02 of a second, but not quite as fast as Cthulhu. So Cthulhu still pole sitter with less than a minute remaining. We're coming up to 45 seconds left of the racing here. Qualifying, sorry, here. As you can see the mountains in the back. Uncle B going faster again. And he's gone ahead of Cthulhu. Cthulhu on a lap at the moment. Probably his final lap. Matt Psycho on his final lap also. Electric on his... well, they're all on their final lap, shall we say. Skyjacker's got a purple. Stick with him for a little bit there. Goes through with a purple. Cthulhu. It's just coming up to a sector, I believe. Oh, no, possibly not. Oh, yeah, he's down on his own time. So it's all that top 5, 6 possibly. All looking like they can get a pole. Daz has gone faster. Daz gone up to 4th. Is that it? That's it for Daz. Daz is 4th. You see Electric as he comes up towards Koikarp. And the sector, but he's down on his own time. Uncle B's purple again. Digital Blasphemy's gone faster. He's gone 7th fastest in this race, and that's him done. Matt Psycho has taken pole. Matt Psycho on his last run managed to get pole out of it. Uncle B though, he's got purples. Can he maintain? Skyjacker was looking good. He's crossed the line though. He hasn't gone faster. So Skyjacker remaining in 7th. Shiren looks like he's remaining in 5th. Koikarp's gone faster. And Uncle B has done it. Uncle B snatching pole in the last minute there from Matt Psycho. And this is, Alan, Mama Sykes saying close, very close. So there we go. There is the grid. with Uncle B just ahead of Matt Psycho, Catula in third, Daz in fourth, Shiren fifth, Electric is in sixth, Skyjacker seventh, Digital Blasphemy in eighth place. And I'll get rid of the big numbers as we wait for the lights. And now the question is, how will they run their race for the next 60 minutes? And away they go. It looks like a good start for everyone. Shiren looking like he's getting a good move up the grid there. Shiren already up into third. He had a cracking start, did Shiren. Uncle B pulling away from the line quite seriously with Matt Psycho in second. Shiren up to third, but Catula's got the inside line on Shiren. Shiren and Catula side by side through the yeses, and Shiren's just got ahead of Catula. We've got a couple of offs back there. Looks like Digital Blasphemy and, oh no, not Daz. And Daz, unfortunate. Oh my word. But Uncle B Darren and Matt Psycho leading the way with Shiren in second, Catula in third. Skyjacker there in fifth place. Electric sixth, ahead of Koi Carp in seventh, Turtle in eighth, then Digital Blasphemy in ninth, and Daz, he's busted a bit of his engine. It should wear off. It's light damage here, but still, that's not how he wanted to start his race, I am sure, especially after a great qualifying in fourth place. But Uncle B Darren trying to hold off Matt Psycho now. And it's very close up at the front there with Shiren, Catula, Skyjacker, all the way down to a seventh. Oh, Koi Carp's got himself ahead of Electric. Now he is up into sixth place, ahead of Electric in seventh. And my word, we've got some close call racing. Uncle B, though, still managing to stay ahead of Matt Psycho. It looks like Catula's making a move up the inside of Shiren. But they're just, oh, and Shiren has a little clip of the barrier. Oh, my word. So Shiren now dropping back into fifth place. Shiren trying to defend as Koi Carp goes through as well. And oh my word, that couldn't have gone more wrong for Shiren. He was a little wide in that tight corner, had a little knock with the barrier, and he's dropped back. But Uncle B Darren now 6/10 ahead of Matt Psycho, with Catula in third place, Skyjacker there in fourth, Electric up into fifth with Koi Carp now in sixth, but he's got Shiren right on his tailgate, and Shiren will be looking to make a move soon. Digital Blasphemy in eighth with Turtle in close call in ninth, and then Daz there is in 10th spot. But at the moment, Uncle B, he's dragged it out to a second. But he is burning through that fuel. But in all fairness, that's probably how I would do it. I would just, up until the first pit stop, just burn through the fuel, try and get track position, and then get the first pit stop out of the way, and then start turning down the fuel. So Mama Sight saying, foot down, Matt. He's looking after that fuel, though. Catula, Skyjacker, similar fuel loads behind them. Uncle B's used more than them four behind him. Electric in fifth, ahead of Koi Carp. Shiren in seventh. Digital Blasphemy very close behind Shiren. He'll be looking to make a move soon. And these guys are all very nicely tight up together. And it looks like Catula, Skyjacker's made a move on Catula there. So Skyjacker up into third, Catula down into fourth. Interesting stuff. And Matt Psycho, I imagine he's sitting just behind Uncle B, trying to get the slipstream, trying to drive the car smoothly, not use the fuel too much. 39.4 from Matt Psycho, that lap around. A 39.1 from Uncle B. Uncle B, head down, he's cracking on, he wants to win. Early doors, Catula has got back ahead of Skyjacker. Interesting stuff between Skyjacker and Catula. Maybe they're working together, taking it in turns to be ahead of each other. Electric 1.8 seconds behind them now, and he's 1.6 seconds ahead of Koi Carp. Digital Blasphemy, oh, Shiren's dropped even further back. Shiren's dropped even further back. He must have had another moment with the barrier. Shiren not enjoying this track with this car combo. And Daz can now see a car. Imagine he's happy about that, from being 10 seconds back, and now he can see a car. It's not a lost cause for him. Turtle 5 seconds ahead of Shiren. Digital Blasphemy on the tail of Koi Carp. We're sat on board. Uncle B Darren still leading from Matt Psycho. Catula in third, and oh, Digital there giving the Koi a little kiss up the rear into the braking zone. It hasn't affected Coy in any way whatsoever. He's carried on. And Digital Blasphemy trying to find a way past that bug. Here at Sardinia, it looks like they're drawing closer to Electric. Who's ahead of them? And we saw Digital Blasphemy kind of romped away last week in second place. Couldn't keep up with Racer Brown, but still did a mighty fine job. Ahead of the rest of the field. Uncle B Darren, though, he's pulling away a little bit even more, but he's nearly down to half a tank of fuel. Matt Psycho somewhere between half and 3/4, and he's pulled it out nearly 2 seconds on Cthulhu. Cthulhu and Skyjack are very close together. Similar fuel loads for the pair of them, and they've pulled away from Electric. He's 2.5 seconds back. He's on half a tank of fuel. Koi Carp also half a tank of fuel. Digital Blasphemy, he's looking after that fuel. He's just under 3/4. Turtle also looking after his fuel very well. Shiren trying to pull away from Daz. Daz also. It's all very similar. The fuel's not loads aren't vastly different. Uncle B has burnt through a little bit more fuel than the rest of the guys in his Pat designed Beetle. It looks very good. Skyjacker going ahead of Cthulhu. These two battling it for that final podium position. Let's get on board with Cthulhu as he chases down Skyjacker. Very tight corner, that one, but Cthulhu does a very lovely job in it indeed. They're 1.3 seconds ahead of Electric. The more they race each other, oh, Cthulhu getting a sideways on, but keeps it under control. A controlled slide from Cthulhu after he got the fastest lap of the race, that last lap around. And he's sitting in the lovely toe there of Skyjacker, drawing ever closer. Wow, the toe really does help him up the straight. Unless Skyjacker as well coasting a little bit, possibly to save fuel side by side round the corner. They both make it through. Beautiful stuff, but Cthulhu's got that inside line now. And Cthulhu, no, Skyjacker, wow, they were side by side all the way through that section of track. Unbelievable stuff. Now Skyjacker's got the inside line, and Cthulhu knows there's nothing he can do about it in that tight section. But he's coming back at Skyjacker. Beautiful stuff from Skyjacker and Cthulhu here. Not one bit of paint has been traded between the two of them, but they've traded places half a dozen times already in this race. Should help Electric draw ever closer. Digital Blasphemy and Koi Carp also side by side. Oh, I think Digital Blasphemy trying to pull onto the racing line. Didn't realise Koi Carp was still there, but now he is ahead of Koi. Digital Blasphemy trying to make his way up. Oh, a little wiggle on there as they come out the corners. These cars can be quite tricky. And Uncle B Darren 1.5 seconds ahead of Matt Psycho at the moment, but he is nearly down to 1/4 of a tank of fuel, where Matt Psycho has managed to save quite a bit of fuel there. They're 5 seconds ahead of this battle we're having here for third and fourth. And like I said, Electric gaining out of that, pulling ever closer, but Cthulhu and Skyjacker both just under half a tank of fuel, where Electric behind them is down to 1/4. Digital Blasphemy still on half a tank of fuel. Koi Carp somewhere between 1/2 and 1/4 of a tank. Turtle in 8th place. He's doing well with his fuel. And Shiren trying to close up on Turtle at this point. And Daz also chasing them down. So Uncle B Darren, I imagine he's going to be one of the first into pit. We're just coming into our 9th minute of racing in this 60-minute race. But like I said, I don't think the pit lane is very long here, so I don't think a pit stop's going to cost too dearly. And the tyre wear doesn't look too harsh, so it might be worth just not even changing tyres, just coming in, splash of fuel, get back out again. We'll see how they're going to do it. But at the moment, Uncle B Darren still leading the way by 1.5 seconds And Matt Psycho trying to close the gap. And then you have Catula in third. He's pulled away from Skyjacker a little bit. Skyjacker trying to stay with him. Electric not too far behind them, but Digital Blasphemy really is starting to come through the field. He's caught up Electric now, and he's looking to make a move on Electric. Digital Blasphemy last week showed he can do really well with fuel loads and managing his car, and he makes the move on Electric. And he is now up into 5th place. Super stuff from Digital Blasphemy, but he's gone wide there. Oh no, it was a lag, because he's just jumped straight back onto the track. Must have been a bit of a lag. So Digital Blasphemy, he's closing in on Skyjacker now. Similar fuel loads between the two. Catula has managed to pull away from Skyjacker a little bit. Matt Psycho, he's closing that gap between him and Uncle B. Uncle B's fuel is flashing, so he's going to be thinking about a pit stop pretty soon. He's a long way from home. Hopefully there's enough fuel on board to get there. Matt Psycho still with a quarter of a tank. Uncle B, he'll be lifting a bit. Lift and coast, boys. Save that fuel. It's gold dust. So Uncle B coming around the final corners. And he'll be slinging that one into the pits. Matt Psycho, I imagine, has got another lap or two on board. Catula in third. He's got less fuel on than Matt Psycho. Digital Blasphemy's managed to get by Skyjacker. Skyjacker must have really turned his car down. He's really starting to try and conserve fuel here. With Digital Blasphemy, he's burning through it. And there you go, Uncle B into the pits. Matt Psycho staying out for another lap. Catula following Matt Psycho through. Digital Blasphemy also staying out. Skyjacker stays out. Koi Carp also. Oh, but Koi Carp's fuel has just started flashing. He'll be in at the end of this lap. Shiren, he's doing well on fuel. He should be able to make a spot up on Koi Carp there. Turtle doing extremely well on fuel, as is Daz. So they've all made their way through, and Uncle B and Electric both into the pits to top up on fuel, probably change tyres. But Matt Psycho weaning that car out best he can. And Catula also still holding the fastest lap of the race so far. His fuel is looking quite low though, so he might be coming in at the end of this lap. Digital Blasphemy and Skyjacker extremely close together. Skyjacker on less fuel than Digital Blasphemy. Digital Blasphemy really does look after fuel as they make their way around the virtual hair. It's virtually a hairpin. And Skyjacker looking to get a position on Digital Blasphemy. Koi Carp in 5th place at the moment. Shiren in 6th. Daz in 7th. I imagine they're all going to be pitting. Turtle in 8th place. There is Uncle B after his pit stop. So what does a pit stop cost you? About 30 odd seconds possibly. And Electric out after his pit stop also. But Matt Psycho's got enough fuel to go around again. Skyjacker didn't, but Digital Blasphemy did. Catula also didn't have enough fuel. Koi Carp's coming in also. We'll see Shiren coming in. Daz he may have enough fuel. He's staying out. So Daz risking another lap on his fuel. Interesting stuff. Turtle, he's got another lap. Oh, he's got a couple of laps worth of fuel in that M&M's Beetle. So he's carrying on. And now we're seeing the strategy starting to come into play. Matt Psycho will be into the pits though, I imagine, at the end of this lap as we're coming up to 15 minutes in the race. Digital Blasphemy, he might have one more lap than Matt Psycho, unsure at this point. With Daz, his fuel flashing as well. Turtle really has looked after fuel well, but he did a 48 on his last lap around though. Lost a big chunk of time. Don't know if that's from turning the car down or a mistake. Uncle B Darren, though, only 5 seconds behind him, the original leader. And he'll be wanting to get that position back. Catula's out in 6th, ahead of Skyjacker. He's only 3.5 seconds behind him, both topped right up. Electric in 8th, Koikarp in 9th. And Shiren behind those guys in 10th position. So Matt Psycho's come in. What's Digital Blasphemy going to need? He's going to have to come in. His fuel's flashing. Daz is flashing as well. Turtle might be able to stay out there for another lap. We'll have to wait and see. But yes, Digital Blasphemy and Matt Psycho both in. Can they get back out? See, Uncle B Darren should be back in the lead, but maybe Matt Psycho, Digital Blasphemy, can get out ahead of him. Turtle, he's staying out. Turtle takes the lead of the race. The Flying Dutchman out there, eking that fuel out very nicely, with Uncle B Darren in a 2nd spot now. Matt Psycho coming out just behind Uncle B, but he's got a full tank where Uncle B's down to 3/4 already. Catula in 4th. Digital Blasphemy comes out behind Catula, ahead of Skyjacker. So Catula doing a great job there to get himself ahead of Digital Blasphemy. Oh, I think he was ahead of Digital Blasphemy anyway, wasn't it? It was Skyjacker that Digital Blasphemy was racing with. And Electric, he can see those cars. Koikarp in 8th, just ahead of Shiren. Shiren's closing that time down between himself and Koikarp. And Daz. But Daz is on a heavier fuel load, remember, than these guys. They all pitted before Daz. And that might come into play nearer the end of the race. Turtle's Turtle's just lost the position to Uncle B, but Turtle's running out of fuel. He's 2.5 seconds ahead of Matt Psycho, who's only 3.5 seconds behind Uncle B, but Uncle B, he's pushing, and he's using a lot more fuel up than the guys behind him. So Matt Psycho might be doing the clever job here with his fuel. He's 4 seconds ahead of Cthulhu. He's 3.2 seconds ahead of Digital Blasphemy, but Digital Blasphemy only a second ahead of Skyjacker. Skyjacker managing to stay with Digi at the moment. Turtles come into the pits. So that puts Uncle B Darren and Matt Psycho 1st and 2nd. Cthulhu moving up into 3rd place. Digital Blasphemy in 4th. Skyjacker moves up to 5th. Electric up to 6th. And Turtle was around. Oh, Shiren's really closed up on Koikarp at the moment. He's going for the move. Is Shiren around the outside? Tricky stuff. Ooh. And Koikarp got that inside line, but Shiren's coming up the inside of him, and there wasn't much room there. And Shiren had to take to the sand trap. And Daz, he's got himself ahead of Turtle. Turtle's lost a bit of time there, unless it just sorts itself back out again. But he's 12 seconds behind Daz, that says, and he is quite a way back. So that's a strange one. He was in the pits a bit longer than those guys. Uncle B Darren at the moment 4 seconds ahead of Matt Psycho, but he's burnt through half a tank of fuel. Matt Psycho, he's just coming up to 3/4. Cthulhu just under 3/4 of a tank. He's 4 seconds ahead of Digi. Digital Blasphemy might be in for a good shout here, looking after the fuel the way he is. Him and Matt Psycho definitely looking after their fuel better than the rest of the field. Skyjacker very close behind Digital Blasphemy. He's probably trying to use that car for a bit of a slipstream. Short shifting. A little bump draft. Yeah, a little bump draft there from Skyjacker, helping him and Digi along. Trying to catch up Cthulhu, but Digi's gone a bit wide. He's held on to it though. And you can see Cthulhu just a little further down the track there. as they try and close up on the Spaniard, who's doing a cracking job at the moment. He's burning through the fuel a little better than Digital, a bit more than the two behind him. Matt Psycho, 4.8 seconds behind Uncle B, but Uncle B, when did he pit? Oh, he's got the fastest lap of the race. He's just going for it. He's going for it. He's going for the J00 pace away. Just burn through that fuel. Just stay ahead. And we'll see how that works out for him come the end of the race. Matt Psycho being a little bit more clever with his fuel. And it looks like Catula is starting to close in on Matt Psycho. Digital Blasphemy had a little knock with the barrier there, we saw. But he's still ahead of Skyjacker. Skyjacker right on the back there. Electric some 3 seconds behind those boys. And he's 9 seconds ahead of Shiren, who has got past Koi Carp now. And Daz is only 2.5 seconds behind Koi. He's catching up Koi Carp. He's got better fuel. Shiren and Koi are similar fuel loads. So Daz driving smart. Might grab some positions come the end of this race. And to me, it looks like Uncle B Darren is just trying to pelt it. He's in the 38s regular. Matt Psycho in the 39s. Trying to look after that fuel. Catula also in 38s and 39s. Digital Blasphemy, 39s for him. And 39s for Skyjacker. Electric only 3 seconds behind them, guys. It looks like he's just easing off that accelerator a little now. Try and extend his stint. As we've got 38 minutes of racing left here at Sardinia for the VDUB Bug Enduro Cup. Ooh, Skyjacker though, he's had a bit of a touch with the grass. That's not helped at all. Skyjacker, he's got to wait for Electric to go through. And then he's got Shiren coming towards him. Can he get going before Shiren catches him up? Shiren, Koi Carp and Daz all in a bunch there for 7th, 8th and 9th. And Skyjacker's got to get a move on. And Electric moving up into 5th place. I bet he can't believe his luck. And poor Skyjacker. Just one small wheel off on the grass. And he finds the bug spinning around as Uncle B Darren extending his lead even more. He's in the 38s regular now. He's really going for it. Whereas Matt Psycho, half a tank of fuel. It's looking... I don't like to say, it's hard to judge, but I think Matt Psycho is running the better race out of the two of these at the moment. I think Uncle B is going to have to pit at the end of this lap, at the looks of it. The fuel's looking pretty low in his VDUB, with Matt Psycho still half a tank of fuel. I imagine he's trying to go to the halfway point, try and get to the 30-minute point, get a 3-stop strategy going on here. Catula, similar. Ooh, a little clout on the barriers from Catula, but he's got a 5-second lead on Digital Blasphemy. Similar fuel loads for 2nd, 3rd and 4th. Electric, he's going to have to pit, so that's one thing for Skyjacker. Oh, Skyjacker playing the wall of death around the barriers. Shiren in 7th, only 2 seconds behind Skyjacker, and with better fuel on boards. Koi Carp's dropping back towards Daz. Daz with a better fuel load. He looks like he wants that position from Koi. Turtle really has dropped off the world a little bit there. 16 seconds behind those guys. He was the last one to pit, so maybe he's trying to fuel save more. Uncle B Darren is into the pits. He's into the pits with Matt Psycho going through to take the lead of the race. And he's got half a tank of fuel still left on his car. He pitted on lap 9. And we're on lap 15 now. So he's done 6 laps of fuel on that, meaning he could probably do another 6 laps. So it's looking good for Matt Psycho. Catula going through up into 2nd place, just over a quarter of a tank of fuel. Digital Blasphemy in 3rd. Skyjacker moves up into 4th spot now, with Shiren only 2 seconds behind Skyjacker. And Skyjacker just a little bit less fuel than Shiren. Shiren's just got a a whisker more fuel on board. Koikarp in 6th. He was racing Daz. Where did Daz go? Oh, Daz looks like he slipped down the order a little bit. He's behind Uncle B. So I don't know what happened to Daz. He was there with Koikarp at one point, and he's dropped down a little bit. Koikarp in 6th. He was only 2 seconds behind Shiren at this point. Skyjacker in 4th place. He's lost Digital Blasphemy, though. He was really racing with Digital Blasphemy earlier today. And now Digital Blasphemy, he's trying to catch Cthulhu up. He's got a lot more fuel on board than Cthulhu. Matt Psycho and Digital Oh, it looks like Digital Blasphemy had made a small mistake there. Oh my word, Skyjacker will be happy to see the times topple between himself and Digital Blasphemy. It's down to, it was 11 seconds difference between the two of them. Now it's down to 7. Digital Blasphemy making a small mistake there, costing him time to Cthulhu and letting Skyjacker get back in the action, with Shiren closing up on Skyjacker as well. Koikarp not too far behind him. Uncle B, after his pit stop, in 7th place, waiting for the guys ahead of him to pit and disappear, with Daz not far behind Uncle B. Turtle is ahead of Electric, so Turtle isn't totally out of it just yet. He's got half a tank of fuel on, where Electric's got a full tank after he's just made his pit stop. And it's an interesting race at the moment. The strategies are all over the place. Like I said, I imagine Matt Psycho, Cthulhu and Digital Blasphemy and Skyjacker are all going to try and do a 3-stopper here, get to the halfway mark. Oh, Skyjacker's fuel is low. He's going to have to pit in the next, at the end of this lap, I imagine. Shiren might be able to get another lap out of that car. Koikarp doing very good on his fuel, better than the guys ahead of him, and he's not too far behind them. Uncle B, like I said, just come into the pits, and he's on his way. Daz also very good on fuel. And I don't know what happened to Daz. He was closing up on Koi. He did a 46 on lap 14, so he must have had a bit of an issue. Lap 14, a 140 for Koikarp. Koikarp keeping it very consistent out there. Matt Psycho then goes around again. He's looking after his fuel beautifully out there at the moment, is Matt Psycho. It's looking very good. Uncle B has got the fastest lap of the race, though. And Uncle B also got the pole. Point for pole, point for the fastest lap. And Cthulhu. There goes Skyjacker. We said he'd probably have to pit. Shiren's followed him in. Shiren has followed him in, and is Koikarp's coming as well. And Daz moving up into 5th place. He's still got a good quarter of a tank of fuel on that car as Daz, so Daz could be the surprise today. Sitting back there, but he's looked after fuel very well in his VDUB bug. Matt Psycho, though, is looking very strong for Matt Psycho at this point. By the time he pits, Uncle B will need to pit. Digital Blasphemy 14 seconds ahead of Uncle B, Darren. He's still got just under a quarter of a tank of fuel, and Cthulhu's going to have to pit at the end of this lap, which puts Digital Blasphemy in a very strong position in 2nd place. Oh, if he can keep the car going, that is. That car just wanting to step out on him at every point it can. Matt Psycho, though, doing a cracking job, leading the way. And he's gone through. He's going for another lap. He is. He's trying to get to halfway, isn't he? Cthulhu's going to have to pit on this lap. Skyjack has made his pit. He's come out in 8th. Shiren still behind him, and Koikarp. Electric 5 seconds ahead of Skyjacker. Cthulhu did come in. Digital Blasphemy, he stayed out, so Digital Blasphemy, he's 20 seconds behind Matt Psycho, but he might get a jump on Cthulhu in the end on fuel. But I imagine Matt Psycho, his fuel's flashing now, so he'll be into the pits at the end of this lap. Digital Blasphemy, I'm assuming, also will come into the pits. Uncle B Darren back up into 3rd place, making his way through, but he's already down to half a tank of fuel. So Uncle B, he's gone for the JOO way of doing it, just going out there, going for hell for leather, and making as many pit stops as he needs. Daz in 4th, he's going to have to pit at the end of this one. He's 10 seconds ahead of Catula, 17 seconds ahead of Turtle, 19 seconds ahead of Electric. Daz might be able to get back out ahead of Skyjacker. We'll just have to wait and see. They're losing around about 20 seconds? No, 30 seconds, sorry, in a pit stop. So he will be behind Skyjacker. Shiren getting ever closer to Skyjacker. There's Matt Psycho into the pits. Barely any fuel on board. Digital Blasphemy will be pitting as well. That'll give Uncle B Darren, I imagine, the lead back, but already he's down to half a tank of fuel. Daz, is he going to get to the... Yeah, they're into the final corner, aren't they? So Daz will be into the pits. It'll be interesting to see where he comes out. And Uncle B, meanwhile, coming through to retake the lead of the race. But his fuel isn't quite reaching it. Digital Blasphemy in, Daz in to the pit. So Catula is the next man we're looking for. Matt Psycho is back out on track. He's only 5 seconds behind Uncle B. Man alive, I think Matt Psycho might have this on Uncle B today. Catula up into 3rd place. Where's Daz going to come out? Digital Blasphemy on the move. He's out ahead of Electric, who is in 5th place. Turtle in 6th, but Turtle will have to pit in the next lap or two. Skyjacker in 7th. Daz is still in the pits. So Daz in 10th place, only 4 seconds behind Coy, who's already used a quarter of a tank of fuel up. It's very tight field. It's very tight field. It's going to be down to those who's going to look after the fuel the best near the end. And so far, Shiren only 1.5 seconds behind Skyjacker. Skyjacker on 3/4 of a tank. So is Shiren. Koikarp on 3/4 of a tank. Daz on a full tank. Turtle is still just under a quarter of a tank of fuel. 2.8 seconds ahead, but he did a 47.5. What did he keeps having these ropey laps? Is that real? 47.5, yeah. Electric is closing up on Digital Blasphemy. Oh no. Or did Digital Blasphemy got out ahead of Electric, I'm sure of it. But Electric nearly down to a quarter of a tank of fuel already. Mixing it up, but the strategy I think is going to play against Electric in the end. He's thereabouts, and Turtle, he's really easing off to look after that fuel, and Skyjacker's caught him right up. Skyjacker will be wanting to get by the Flying Dutchman as soon as he can on the start straight, and there he goes. They're side by side. Beautiful shot there from GT Sports. But Skyjacker, it looks like he's going to get that inside line on Turtle. Late on the brakes. And he's through and up into 6th place. Turtle in 7th. Shiren's backed off a little bit there. Shiren backing off a little bit, looking after his fuel. And Koikarp's made a pit stop for some reason. He's got plenty of fuel on board, but maybe he fancies a different strategy, puts Daz up ahead of him, and that is very interesting there from Koikarp, coming in for a quick short fill up. And a strange strategy from Koikarp. We'll have to keep our eye on that. Maybe he wants to put himself on the same strategy as Daz. Maybe he feels Daz might have the jump on him, so he comes into a pit stop, just a quick short one. But Uncle B Darren leading by 6.3 seconds. But he's under a quarter of a tank of fuel as it stands, with Matt Psycho out there on 3/4. He'll be probably not pitting until 15 minutes remaining, or just less. Catula, 10 seconds nearly behind those guys. And Digital Blasphemy keeping that distance from Electric, but Electric will be pitting pretty soon. He's only 3.2 seconds ahead of Skyjacker as they all make their way around. Shiren's dropped back from Skyjacker a little bit. Turtle coming into the pits. That'll put Daz up into 8th place, I assume. And yeah, Koikap, interesting strategy from Koikap. Turtle, can he get back? Turtle's just getting to his pit blocks now as Koikap makes his way around. Uncle B Darren, he's going to have to pit at the end of this lap. That'll be his 3rd pit stop of the race. Matt Psycho only on 2 so far. And you'll be looking good to go for another 10 minutes or so in this race, where Uncle B is probably going to have to make another pit stop after this one. It's going to be a tough win for Uncle B today. I think Matt Psycho's the man to beat. Cthulhu doing beautifully there for a podium position. Digital Blasphemy, though, could be the danger for Cthulhu. His fuel looking a little better. Electric's going to have to come in at the end of this lap, giving Skyjacker the position, although Skyjacker looks like he's going for the position before the pit stops. And he does. He goes up and around, but he's he's gone the long way round, and Electric stays ahead of him. Unbelievable stuff. So Skyjacker staying in 5th, and Shiren will like that. He'll see the time toppling between him and Skyjacker. There goes Electric into the pits. Skyjacker moves up into 4th place. Shiren looking to make that position up as well in 5th. Half a tank of fuel, whereas Skyjacker is somewhere between a quarter and a half a tank. So Shiren looking after his fuel at this point. Daz might make the position up on Electric. So it's looking good for Daz at the moment. He's up into 6th place. With only one more pit stop to make for Daz, I am sure. Turtle come out ahead of Koi, but only by a second. So these two are outright race between them two. With a Turtle managing 41s. Oh, and Uncle B's gone. Uncle B in the chat's just saying, I missed pit stop, had to opt out. Oh, so Matt Psycho then is a slam dunk for Matt Psycho. We'll never know what Uncle B could have done. He missed his pit stop, and then he's left. So that puts Digital Blasphemy up into 3rd, Skyjacker 4th, Shiren in 5th. And oh, that's a real shame. I'm really disappointed. I'm really good for Uncle B. He was definitely on for a podium today. I know he missed his pit stop. He said he's gutted. And it would have been a long lap to go around with no fuel, I imagine. But still, with the pole and the fastest lap, still could have got some good points today, but that's the way it goes, I imagine. So Matt Psycho can just cruise it on home. Unbelievable stuff. Matt Psycho ahead of Cthulhu in 2nd, Digital Blasphemy in 3rd. He's only 6 seconds ahead of Skyjacker, and Shiren is the danger. I'm pretty sure Shiren is the danger for Skyjacker at the moment. He's looking after his fuel a little better. He's got just over a quarter of a tank of fuel on board. Has the Russian sensation, with Skyjacker just under a quarter. Digital Blasphemy, half a tank of fuel. So Cthulhu could... No, because Cthulhu's just under half a tank as well, as is a Matt Psycho. 21 minutes left of racing here. How is the battle with Koi Carp and Turtle? Koi has got himself ahead of Turtle. Turtle in 9th. Koi Carp in 10th. Only a second between them. They've got Electric just up the road, but Electric, he's not fuel saving whatsoever. And I think they're all going to have one more pit stop. Daz on a great fuel there. He's 12 seconds ahead of Electric, and he's on half a tank. So he's on. He could be on a better strategy than Skyjacker and Shiren, who are both ahead of him. And Shiren trying to close that gap to himself and Skyjacker. And if they start racing, Skyjacker's gone in. Skyjacker's gone in for fuel. Shiren stays out. Pat saying, what happened if the person with the fastest lap doesn't finish? Has that ever happened before? I don't know. I'm not sure. That'll be one for the admin to chat about, I'm sure. Well, he had a point for pole. I'm sure that's secure. But the fastest lap, we'll see. Although I would guess that Matt Psycho's not far off that lap time, and he'll probably give himself a little extra fuel at the end to try and push for the fastest lap come the end of the race. We'll see. Cthulhu, he's 13 seconds behind Matt Psycho. He's 9 seconds ahead of Digital Blasphemy. He's down to nearly quarter of a tank of fuel. Digital Blasphemy just under half. Shiren is doing great on fuel. Daz up into fifth, still under half a tank. Skyjacker's out just ahead of Electric. Electric trying to make a move on Skyjacker. It's a tight battle here between these two in 6th and 7th place. And Electric trying to find a way by Skyjacker. He's up the inside and he's through. So Electric going through, getting that 6th place from Skyjacker. I imagine Skyjacker, though, says, if you want to burn the fuel, my friend, you burn the fuel. I am racing with Shiren today. And you are going to be pitting pretty soon. Although I don't think Skyjacker's going to be able to make that fuel last all the way till the end of the race. So Skyjacker might have to make another stop. Shiren, he's low on fuel now. I think he's going to have to pit at the end of this lap. Blasphemy, just a quarter of a tank of fuel for him. Cthulhu, just under a quarter of a tank. Matt Psycho on a quarter of a tank. Daz is really looking after fuel. He's doing 40s. He did a 44 and a 43. But on a whole, he's looked after his fuel beautifully. He's 13 seconds ahead of Electric. And I think Daz might be the surprise package today. Of getting in there, getting a bit of a good haul of points here from nothing. He was right at the back early doors. And if he can keep a nice clean run in that Beetle, he might be up for some good points. Electric pulling away from Skyjacker. He's on half a tank of fuel, with Skyjacker is virtually on a full tank. Koikarp in 8th, ahead of Turtle. He's pulled away from Turtle, but Turtle looking after his fuel beautifully. So Turtle might come good come the end of this race, as Koikarp trying to catch up Skyjacker. These Beetles, I must say, they look absolutely delicious. So there is Shiren. Shiren's into the pits. Daz should move ahead of the Russian sensation. Electric might be too far back. I think he's 33 seconds back from Shiren. And Skyjacker. So Shiren might get the job done here. I'm not sure. But Shiren might be able to get out ahead of Skyjacker. But Skyjacker, I think he's in some heavy fuel saving at the moment. No, what am I talking about? Shiren's dropped behind both of them, so there he goes. Shiren, oh, there goes Electric, just goes by. Skyjacker is virtually there, though. Skyjacker just nips by Shiren as well. But we've got 16 minutes left of racing. And the question is, as Skyjacker, can he make 3/4 of a tank of fuel last till the end of the race? And I'm not sure he's going to be able to. So Shiren out there, he just has to sit behind Sky, because I think Sky isn't going to have enough fuel. Matt Psycho making it through for another lap. He's getting that 3-stopper that he was aiming for. Looking a very strong. Catula also. He's crossing the line, so he's not coming in. Digital Blasphemy. A bit better fuel than that, and he is closing up on Catula. Catula must be easing off. He did a 43.2 his last time around. I don't know if that was a mistake or if he was just easing off that fuel. But Digital Blasphemy drawing closer to Catula. And these two are going to be pitting at the same time, I think, as Matt Psycho. The top three all on similar strategies. Daz has done amazing with that fuel. I've got to say, hats off to Daz. Whatever he's doing a cracking job of it. He's gone through in 4th place. He's 13 seconds ahead of Electric. Electric's got a quarter of a tank fuel left on board. Skyjacker he's going for it, I think. Skyjacker knows there's not enough fuel in there, and I think he's having to start to put the lap times in. What lap times he done? Yeah, 38.7. So I think Skyjacker now is letting the rabbit bolt. He's going to have to push because he knows he's got to make another pit stop. Pull away from Shiren. Shiren 1.5 seconds behind him. Koikarp, he's pulled out nearly 9 seconds on. Oh, it looks like Turtle has had a bash in the bug. And Koikarp's pulled out nearly 10 seconds on the Turtle. These two are racing close. Here comes Matt Psycho into the pits. He's got 21 seconds on Catula, who's also going to have to pit. But Catula's really easing off, I think, trying to make that fuel last all the way up to the pit lane. And Digital Blasphemy is closed up on 2nd place. So Digital Blasphemy might be able to steal 2nd here by the end of the race. We'll have to wait and see. Daz is also going to be into the pits. And Skyjacker, yes, look, he's definitely bolting. He's got to go for it. I think he's realised the fuel save hasn't worked out for him, and he's going for it, I think. He's going to start reeling off some really fast lap times to make up for that pit stop he's going to have to make. Shiren sitting just behind Electric. Electric, I think, is trying to fuel save at this point in the race as well. And Koikarp is going to have to pit as well. Ooh, Koikarp out wide there. Turtle still nearly just under half a tank of fuel. That'll put him ahead of Koikarp. So Matt Psycho into the pits and back out again in the lead. Catula stays ahead of Digital Blasphemy, but this is going to be a race to the end from Catula and Digital Blasphemy. And who dare put the pace down, really? Who wants to burn the fuel? I think it's all right. I think with 13 minutes to go, they might be able to do it. Skyjacker up into 4th place. And he is starting to do some lap times. There is Koikarp into the pits, as is Daz. Daz topping up with fuel. Does he stay ahead of Turtle? He's behind Turtle. Turtle doing very well with his fuel. But Daz now running all the way to the end. And with Skyjacker maybe needing to pit, Electric having to pit. That's 2 positions. The question is, can Shiren make that fuel last? He's sitting behind Electric to try and keep in the slipstream and save fuel while Skyjacker bolts. And then we've got Digital Blasphemy and Catula. So 2nd place isn't sorted out in this race by no means. And Digital Blasphemy, he might be able to catch Catula up. It depends on who's looking after their fuel the best. Matt Psycho though, slam dunk of a strategy with Uncle B Darren dropping out, has made it an easy job for Matt Psycho today to grab some maximum points. Can he get that fastest lap from Uncle B? Catula in 2nd place. He's pulled away from Digi a little bit. Digital, he's a clever driver. He's probably thinking save fuel for a couple of laps and then go on the attack, let Catula burn through. Electric into the pits, puts up Skyjacker and Shiren. Well, Skyjacker was ahead of him. He's 2 seconds ahead of Shiren. And Turtle, Daz, Koikarp will be hoping to get ahead of Electric. There goes Turtle and Daz up. And Electric's going to be somewhere where Koikarp is, I reckon. Koikarp coming around. I say the final corner because the final corner really is just a kink. But Electric's on the move. He's on the move. He's out of the pits. Kuiper on the start straight. So Electric stays ahead. Daz, there's probably enough fuel to the end there. Turtle's probably going to have to pit. We've got 10 minutes left of racing here. Shiren coming up to about half a tank of fuel. We're looking at Matt Syker. They've all got 3/4 of a tank of fuel, and you'll think that's just enough to get to the end. So maybe Shiren's not going to have enough fuel either. Skyjacker's down to a quarter, but like I said, he's bolting. He's going for it. I think he knows he's going to have to make another pit stop, but I think Shiren might have to as well. He's down to half a tank. He's doing 39s. He doesn't want Skyjacker to get away from him, does he? So I think he's changed his strategy to Skyjacker's. And Skyjacker coming in. He's just going to do a short fill. Shiren stays out, but I don't think Shiren's got enough to get to the end of the race. So Skyjacker, quick short fill, and it's all down to Daz. Daz might be able to get himself ahead of Skyjacker. Skyjacker only just getting to his box. And Daz going down the start straight. Turtle there as well, but Turtle's going to have to pit at the end of this lap, I think. Electric, it's going to be tight. Where is Skyjacker going to come out? Interesting stuff. So Matt Psycho leads the way from Catula. Digital Blasphemy, Shiren in fourth. Skyjacker is out of the pits, but Daz just goes by. Daz goes by, and now can Daz stay ahead of Skyjacker? Skyjacker's put in just enough to get to the end of the race. And this is it. So Daz could possibly get 5th place if he can keep Skyjacker behind him, but that is a hard job on anyone's book. And this is a very interesting race here between Daz and Skyjacker. Electric is somewhat behind them. Kuiper is 8 seconds. Turtle has made the pit stop now, and he's out 11 seconds behind. Catula and Digital Blasphemy very close on the track. 1.2 seconds between the two of them. Exactly the same fuel loads on board. And I think they can burn fuel because it looks like Skyjacker's put in enough just to get to the end. Shiren is questionable, very questionable, but he's got 25 seconds before Daz and Skyjacker reach him, so he can just lean out that fuel a bit to get to the end for a great 4th place for Shiren. Daz trying to stay ahead of Skyjacker. Skyjacker pushing like a bat out of hell to try and get ahead of Daz. And this is some interesting racing we've got here. Sat on board with Skyjacker in the Monster Beetle as he chases Daz down. And Daz, you've got to say, has had a great strategy there. Kept his head cool, head down. He was right at the back at the very first lap, and he's just slowly gained position after position, and he's got himself into a great 5th place. Although Skyjacker, no slouch, sitting just behind him, looking to take that 5th place away from him. Shiren, we're not sure he's going to have enough fuel, but he has got the time. He's got 25 seconds on Daz, so he could eke that fuel out a little bit. Catula and Digital Blasphemy, we think they're just battling it out until the end of the race. Over 6.5 minutes left of racing here, and we can see Skyjacker wants to get that position from Daz early doors. He's up alongside him, and Skyjacker is through. Skyjacker through, up ahead of Daz. And Daz didn't really try and protect that too much. So Skyjacker up into 5th, but these two, this is going to be a battle all the way to the end. They want to watch their fuel though. Skyjacker out wide there, but he just scrambles back onto the track, but that gives Daz the momentum to get the inside here. Up the inside, and Daz is back ahead of Skyjacker. What a beautiful battle we've got here at Sardinia. Road Track A. Catula is only less than a second ahead of Digital Blasphemy. as Daz and Skyjacker battle this out. Skyjacker in the slipstream, going for the move up the inside of this very tight corner. They're going to be late on the brakes here. We've got just over 5.5 minutes left of racing, and Skyjacker back ahead of Daz. My word, these two are having a ding-dong and a half. Awesome stuff there from Daz and Skyjacker. I want to pull away and have a look at some of the other guys. Daz chasing Skyjacker down at the moment. Skyjacker just ahead of Daz in 5th place. It looks like Skyjacker's just managing to pull away from Daz a little bit, but anything can happen. Electric in 7th. He's 14 seconds behind that battle and 8 seconds ahead of Koikarp, who's 15 seconds ahead of Turtle, who's letting the leader through at the moment, Matt Psycho. His fuel's looking good. Catula and Digital Blasphemy, oh my word. Now we've got another battle for the second spot. Digital Blasphemy versus Catula. They've both got exactly the same fuel load on, and they're side by side going through that first corner, my word. But now Digital Blasphemy got the inside, but Catula's just edged it ahead. The Red Bull car fighting a DB4M's car, and he's having a look at the inside of this one, and these two are having an absolute corker of a battle. And a little shake on from Digital Blasphemy as he tries to cling on to the back of that Beetle. And my word, he's up the inside again now. And Digital Blasphemy looks like he might have got the position. Digital Blasphemy, is that going to be his second? But Catula's not giving up the position at all. So Catula's back ahead again. And these two, we've still got 4 minutes left of racing, and these two are going to be battling all the way. Unbelievable stuff. Sharen's still in that 4th spot. He hasn't pitted, so me saying he might not have enough fuel, possibly I was wrong. At the moment, Catula just ahead of Digital Blasphemy. Mama Syke saying, love it. Oh yeah, I love a bit of racing, me. And it looks like Catula just edging away from Digi at this point. Matt Psycho's got a 22-second lead, and it's a slam dunk for Matt Psycho today. Great strategy from the Sykes. He's done a cracking job. But Catula and Digital Blasphemy having a humdinger. Sharen, his fuel's not looking too bad. 3 minutes to go. 17 seconds ahead of Skyjacker. Skyjacker and Daz are still at it though. My word, we have to keep coming backwards and forwards. Catula and Digital Blasphemy in an absolute humdinger, and Digital Blasphemy going up the inside, but he's late at it. He's late braked it. Can he keep the bug under control? He does. But Catula, unbelievable. A calm head in the Spaniard's cockpit has kept him ahead of Digital Blasphemy. Digital Blasphemy's got it all to do, while Skyjacker and Daz are having an absolute humdinger. And I think Sharen has got enough fuel, because they're all on a quarter of a tank of fuel as we've got 2.5 minutes left of racing. Daz tries to get a tow from Skyjacker. Skyjacker already early doors, staying over on that left-hand side of the track to protect the inside line. Daz trying to go around the outside. It's a struggle to do that, but he's got to give it a go, hasn't he? Why not? Super stuff. Catula then, he's got a second on Digital Blasphemy. Digital Blasphemy's got it all to do. Sharen out there in a sturdy old 4th place. Skyjacker trying to defend off Daz. Daz giving it his all to get by, to get that 5th place. Electric in 7th, all on his own, but he's losing time on Koikarp. Koikarp closing in, although he did a 39.7. And Turtle back there in 9th. Matt Psycho hasn't cracked that fastest lap yet though. Catula, 2.2 seconds. Digi might not be able to get that time back. Skyjacker and Daz, there's a second between those two. Daz's fuel looking quite low. So is Skyjacker's. 1 minute 20 seconds left of this race. Electric 7 seconds ahead of Koikarp. But it's this man today, Matt Psycho, done an absolute cracking run. And is he going to go for the point for fastest lap? Or will he be happy with the 18 points for the win? Catula, though, 1.4 seconds ahead of Digital Blasphemy. They're both on similar fuel loads out there. Sharen, It's looking low, but Skyjacker's fuel has started flashing ahead of Daz's. Daz's has started flashing as well, side by side, going up the start straight, and I think Skyjacker, he might be worrying about fuel. It seems like that was quite an easy pass for Daz, and maybe Skyjacker just wants to sit in the slip a little bit. It's exactly the same between him and Daz for fuel, and maybe they're a bit worried about getting to the end of the race. And they raced each other a little too hard, I think. And now they're both going to worry about fuel. Electric, he's all right for fuel. So is Koi Carp. Turtle also. Matt Psycho crossing the line with 6 seconds, so he's got another lap to do. Is he going to go for fastest lap on this final lap? We will see. Katula just ahead of Digital Blasphemy. The final lap thing has come up, so Katula is going to cross the line first in second place, and a cracking job from Katula under that pressure at the end. Great stuff. And Digital Blasphemy gets a podium. Take a boo, my son. Shiren, he did have enough fuel in the end. I was just being alarmist for no reason whatsoever. Brings her home in 4th place. A cracking job by the Russian sensation. Great points today for Shiren. Well done. Cracking stuff as Shiren crosses the line in 4th. Oh no! Oh no! I wonder what's happened here. Oh my words! Oh dearie, dearie me. Where's Electric? Electric closing up on these guys. Skyjacker and Daz. It looks like these two, I don't know what happened. And Skyjacker looks like he's let Daz go back through again. So maybe Skyjacker tried a last minute thing on Daz. Who knows? But Daz crosses the line in a great 5th place today. Or does he? That fuel's very tight. And Daz gets 5th. Skyjacker gets 6th. Electric not far behind. I bet his heart went up into his mouth when he saw the time drop in. Gets 7th place. Ahead of Koi Carp in 8th. And Turtle's already finished in 9th. And it's this man today, though, Matt Psycho, 3 pit stops. And what's that time doing? Is he going to get the fastest lap? Oh, I don't think he is. No. He finishes in 1st. Well done, Matt Psycho. A great win in his 2nd race in the championship. Fantastic. We'll have a look at Matt showing off his trophy. Well done, Mr. Psycho. Cracking stuff. Lovely car. Great strategy for round 2 of the VDUB. And that was a beautiful little race. We had racing up and down the field, and a big unfortunate commiserations to Uncle B Darren for not making it to the line. And I will take you to the race results. So Matt Psycho takes the win. A lap ahead of everyone, it turns out. But yes, Matt Psycho taking a great win. Katula, Fernando getting that 2nd spot, and Digital Blasphemy gave it his all. He put the pressure on him. He wanted that 2nd place to Digital Blasphemy, but just couldn't quite get it there in the end. Went a little wide, and Katula managed to maintain 2nd place with Digital Blasphemy, the final podium place. Then Shiren, a solid drive to 4th, and a great strategy for the Russian sensation. Daz and Skyjacker are having an absolute humdinger at the end there, and I don't know what happened when we cut to them. They were both sideways in the tight corner, so God knows what happened. But yes, Daz got 5th, Skyjacker in 6th, Electric finishing in 7th, Koi Carp in 8th, with Turtle in 9th, and Uncle B Darren, a DNF for him, I think. But he got the pole position, and it still says he got fastest lap with a 1:38.506. What an absolute corker that race was. I enjoyed that very much. And in the chat, Turtle saying miscalculated the full laps, but good race, lots of info for next race. And Mama Sykes saying, well done, Matt, great race, thanks guys, nice one thingy. It is my absolute pleasure. And that was a corker. I loved it. Fantastic stuff. Oh, I've got to save the replay when I go back. So hopefully Skyjacker won't close the room down. I won't try and send the replay. And there's nothing more to say. Obviously, next week, the replays are going to be a bit different. The streams, they'll be there when you wake up, because hopefully I'll be doing it I'll be doing the Tuesday evening race on Wednesday morning. So by the time you get out of your pits on Wednesday, the race should be sat there in YouTube waiting to be watched. And the same again, the GTMC from Thursday night should be done Friday morning and ready for your perusal. And then again, we're live Friday night with the Super Formulas, and then next week from St. Croix, we'll be here for the VDUB Bug Enduro Cup. Thank you everyone for watching. It was great fun, and Skyjack saying top job thingy. No, I loved it. That was cracking. That was a great little race there from everyone. I was your broadcaster and your commentator, Ashid Mebed. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Peace and love. Peace and love.